Yeah, so I kind of forgot to mention I had to go out of town for the new job this last week, so hopefully this video is dropping around the 22nd or 23rd of November, but now that I'm back, I'll be more consistent again, do not worry. I say again, even though I did only 2 episode recaps. But episode 2 left us with a lot, so first we got Henry, Kim, and Cal sharing that calling, and out of the plane window, Cal saw a volcano and what looked like a natural disaster taking over Earth. Later that night after this calling, the same dragon scar Henry had started to form onto Cal's arm. Then while Sanvi was going over the black box recording, she heard the sea of voices that Henry talked about, and it's every single calling each passenger has had since they returned. We also saw that every time they were testing the black box, the seismic activity reader was going off, hinting that them experimenting on it could lead to earthquakes just like in season 3, or potentially opening up a new volcano. And I think that was all the big moments. Oh yeah, Jared and Mikami, was not expecting that. But before we get into the next episode recap, make sure to check out the first 2 on my channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification button for future videos, and let's get into episode 3 of season 4 of Manifest, High Flight. We start out with Eden and ashes are falling around her, showing she is continuing to have callings. Cut over to Ben and he's trying to convince the police that he has new info that proves Eden is alive, but of course, they're not having it. Mick walks in and hears thunder and rain, but Ben doesn't, and it also is very sunny outside, so this is our first main calling of the episode. Ben continues to be sassy, like really sassy this episode, so Mick heads downstairs. She hears it again and so does Cal, but Sanvi texts and says come to the bird's nest, which is now the name for Vance's lab, because she's found something with the black box. Before they leave, Jared pulls up and is actually convinced to go help, so go Jared, I guess. Cal goes to Sanvi and she starts taking samples of the scar and shows Cal the recordings, which then causes the scar to start pulsating. It looked very gross. I guess that's the only word I can use. She explains to Cal and I guess to us too that the recordings of the callings is hidden under the ultra low frequency only during the 6 seconds of the flight. So they need to find out what was happening during those 6 seconds. Mick meets up with Mikami and she somehow already knew about her and Jared, so I'm glad we can just skip right past that. Ben pulls up so they can go in and file the report that Angelina and Eden are still alive and do some digging. When they go inside, Mick gets the calling again, but this time she sees lightning strike inside the registry and it's right in front of the co-pilot of 828, and he clearly saw it too. Cut over to Adrian and he has been taking in passengers that need help. I guess that crazy lady who got arrested last season is second in command in this operation, but none of them at the house besides him know that they're harboring Angelina and Eden upstairs. Mick catches the co-pilot outside, but he wants nothing to do with the callings or 828. Ben, Jared, and Mikami get a lead from the library Angelina was at and go to investigate. Alright, I knew this scene was coming and I've been waiting to say something about it, but when they get to the library, Ben sees some ashes falling and then he gets a calling and dude, what the hell is this CGI work, bro? Like, there's no way they ran out of the budget enough to not fix this one scene. Like, it feels so out of place to the rest of the show. I'm not gonna lie, I deadass laughed when I first saw it, but I'm a quit roasting. Let's continue. We cut over to Egan, remember his bitch ass, and he was having the same calling. He's still in prison for trying to kill Vance and breaking into his house though. We cut over to Mick going to the bird's nest, and we also find out it has only been recording the callings up until the plane disappeared at the end of season 3, so no season 4 callings are in the black box. Mick brings up the co-pilot and the thunder and lightning calling, and they put 2 and 2 together. The 6 seconds had to be when the lightning struck the plane, and that's why Mick is getting a calling about the co-pilot. Mick uses Vance's henchmen and their technology to stop the co-pilot's flight that he's about to get on so they can bring him in. I guess you can just do that. We get another Angelina being crazy scene, and this time it really feels like she's too far gone, even if that's possible, but Adrian says she needs to be out by the morning. Cut over to Ben in the attic and he sees a flower drawing forming on the wall, and then back to Eden and it's her drawing. Ben sees this as her trying to communicate with him. Amuda, the co-pilot, pulls up to the bird's nest and is rightfully pissed. They tell him they need him because when the plane hit the lightning and quote-unquote took them to the other side, he was one of only 2 people who saw what happened. They convince him to listen when they bring up the black box. I feel like at this point we can kind of breeze past the Eden stuff. She's drawing random circles with lines coming out and they appear again on Ben's wall. And when Adrian sees the physical pictures, he seems like he's seen it before or he's worried or something. Over at the bird's nest, they play Amuda the recordings and he wants nothing to do with it. He says that they could have flown over the storm, but Daly wanted to fly through it and he still regrets not stopping him. After they play the recordings with the callings isolated, he says that when they went through the storm, that was the moment they died. Another hint at the resurrection theory. The lightning was hitting them from everywhere until it combined into one ball of light, he said, and then they flew right into it. He thinks that this killed them. But when it happened, he said it was beautiful and he felt an overwhelming sense of peace, a calm he had never felt before. Alright, man. If Amuda wasn't already freaked out enough, they show him the Daily tape right after. He then reveals that Daly went crazy afterwards, trying to find that feeling again, and this was his real motive for flying into the light again. A very big payoff. You know, just seeing them actually crash into the lightning and stuff, and then seeing how he actually was acting afterwards. We get some more Olive finally as she goes up to the attic, and Ben looks like he's officially lost it, drawing symbols all over the place now. But Olive recognizes this as the song her and Cal used to sing to each other, and this is the song Cal taught Eden before she was taken. X marks the spot, spiders crawling up and down or whatever. You know the song. But Ben has been drawing everything that he sees appearing on the wall, and it looks like Eden has been drawing every single calling of the season so far. Like, I knew she'd be important, but this is hinting at her being a key element of sorts. Ben then draws the word dad, and Eden does this into her oatmeal, so she must see everything that's going on. Angelina gets pissed, of course, and this side plot just needs to get wrapped up, man. Jesus Christ. I'm tired of seeing her crazy ass. Over at the registry, and it seems like Mikami only took the job to be undercover for the passengers. Weird for messing with Jared, but good shit. Over with Egan as Adrian pays him a visit, and this Egan dude, like, only talks in puns and sarcastic one-liners, I swear. It's so annoying to try to figure out what he's trying to say. But Adrian asks for advice on the Angelina problem, and has no one learned not to tell Egan things, man? Like, long story short, they're still on the same side and against the callings, but you just can't trust Egan. Okay, yeah, dude, what is this man plotting? Like, he's always got this douchey-ass smirk on his face. Back at the bird's nest, and Cal reveals to Amuda who he really is. I keep forgetting that he's supposed to be Gabriel to the rest of the world, but he also saw the light, as we know, not just the pilots. And he agrees that everything just made sense and he was calm, but how could he see it if it was coming towards them, not from the side? Because Cal looked at it from outside the window. So this means that this ball of light wasn't lightning, and it was actually chasing them at 500 miles per hour. Like, this was one of the bigger revelations the first couple episodes. But again, this just brings more questions. Is it a UFO? Is it God? Who knows? Cal says when he touched the tail fin 2 years ago, he thinks that he went back into that light, but he can't remember what happened until Amuda says that him and Daly referred to the light as the long, delirious, burning blue. This sends Cal to a flashback when he left and he was on the plane with Daly and the scientist. And Cal wanted to go back to save his mom, but Daly says, why leave? It's beautiful. And if you leave, you won't remember anything that happened here. The scientist tells him that he already has the answer and there's more to do, so he should just go back. So that means when Cal came back and Daly did too at the same time for a second, Daly didn't mean to. He was just trying to stop Cal from leaving. Most likely why he was sent right back. We end the episode with no physical leads on Eden. Olive and Ben have a moment, and it seems like Ben has faith in the callings again. Adrian says Angelina can stay. God, she is just insane. Then Ben and Mick have a moment, so it looks like he's officially back. Cal and Olive seem to be on good terms now. Sanvi is doing some research on ULF with animals, and we see the goddamn peacock again, but we gotta wait till next episode, of course. Ben sees some ash falling and then gets a call from Egan from prison saying that he has info on Eden. Of course this man was plotting something, dude. I knew it. Alright, so after rewatching this episode, it's definitely a dip in quality from the first two. I don't even know what to say about the scene with Ben and the fire or whatever, but not as many big revelations. The ones we did get were pretty huge, though. Just seemed like this episode was more emotion and filler, which is something we do not need in this final season, but let's discuss. So when I first saw this episode, Cal going back to the plane when he touched the tail fin and this place being described as the light they flew through, it instantly gave off heaven vibes. I mean, the pilots described it as beautiful and Daly was like, why would you want to leave? So it definitely seems like it's going in a more religious route. But this light being a place, an actual location or dimension makes more sense as to why when you go through it, you come out different. The laws of time and physics in this place are just different. But we need to find out what this place is exactly, because for that 6 seconds, that's where the plane was, and I would assume, and I assume we all do, that this is where Alzirus' ship was as well. I've been waiting to hear about Alzirus all season. You already know how I feel about the peacock. I'm glad to see it brought up again at the very end. Very good cliffhanger. And then Egan, yeah, I guess I'm cool with him being back. I knew he would be. He's just such a dirtbag, man. Like, we just need to wrap up the Eden plot, we all know, so hopefully he gets this moving faster. The thing to take away from Eden, though, is that it seems like her callings and abilities are going to play a big role this season. It's almost like she can communicate with Ben, possibly others. But again, just a lot more emotion and filler, and then that awful CGI just had me not as excited with this episode until the very end, like the last 10 minutes, but my main concern is that this Eden storyline is taking up just too much time. We got some big advancements with this one, but I'm hoping we have a jam-packed episode 4 after this more lackluster episode 3. Again, sorry for the delay on this one, guys. I'm trying to juggle a lot right now, and there's new shows coming out that I want to talk about too, but I cannot stress this enough. The first priority for the channel is getting all these Manifest episode recaps to you as quick as possible, hopefully all by the end of the year. Thanks for still being here and supporting. We recently just hit 1 million total views, and it's all thanks to you guys. Again, I cannot thank you enough. Make sure to stay tuned for more videos coming soon. The plan is episode 4 recap should be coming either Saturday or Sunday night, maybe earlier. And yeah, I'm trying to make the intro and outro quicker so I can just get back to editing. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a few days.